now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Yashara. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Israel. All praise to the Most High God. We're here for another Shabbat. Let's get it.
That's right. Pray that you all having a blessed Shabbat. Got a nice, strong little lesson for you all. We're gonna be dealing with some very crucial points in this lesson. So make sure you got your notes. Make sure you got your something to write with, something to write on, and most important, make sure you got your sword with you.
That's right.
All right. So I'm gonna go through. Yeah, a few more seconds. I know some of the brews are still coming on.
Trickle on in, Israel. Trickle on in.
Yeah, buddy.
Get some of this good truth.
That's right, y'all. Hey, things are getting crazy in this on this earth, y'all. It's getting crazy, boy.
I'm telling you.
No, man. I think we might have a civil war if Trump gets in office.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, they are upset.
Yeah, I'm praying for it too, boy. Let it happen.
All right, Israel. While we letting everybody trickle on in, we'll go ahead and start it out like we normally do. Jubilees, chapter 1, starting at verse 7.
All righty. Let's get it, Israel. All y'all should be there by now. All right. Verse 7. And do thou write for thyself all these words which I declare unto thee this day, for I know their rebellion and their stiff neck, before I bring them into the land of which I swear to their fathers, and to Abraham, and to Isaac, and to Jacob, saying, unto your seed will I give a land flowing with milk and honey. And they will eat and be satisfied, and they will turn to strange gods, to gods which cannot deliver them from aught of their tribulation. And this witness shall be heard for a witness against them, for they will forget all my commandments, even all that I command them, and they will walk after the Gentiles, and after their uncleanness, and after their shame, and will serve their gods, and these will prove unto them an offense, and a tribulation, and an affliction, and a snare. And many will perish, and they will be taken captive, and will fall into the hands of the enemy, because they have forsaken my ordinances and my commandments, and the festivals of my covenant, and my Shabbat, and my holy place, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst, and my tabernacle, and my sanctuary, which I have hallowed for myself in the midst of the land, that I should set my name upon it, and that it should dwell there. Amen. And they will make to themselves high places and groves and graven images, and they will worship each his own graven images, so as to go astray, and they will sacrifice their children to demons and to all the works of the error of their hearts.
And I will send witnesses unto them, that I may witness against them, but they will not hear, and will slay the witnesses also, and they will persecute those who seek the law, and they will abrogate and change everything so as to work evil before my eyes. And I will hide my face from them, and I will deliver them into the hand of the Gentiles for captivity, and for a prey, and for devouring. And I will remove them from the midst of the land, and I will scatter them amongst the Gentiles. And they will forget all my law, and all my commandments, and all my judgments, and will go astray as to the new moons, and Sabbaths, and festivals, and jubilees, and ordinances. And after this, they will return to me from amongst the Gentiles with all their heart, and with all their soul, and with all their strength. And I will gather them from amongst all the Gentiles, and they will seek me, so that I shall be found of them when they seek me with all their heart and with all their soul. And I will disclose to them abounding peace with righteousness. And I will remove them the plant of uprightness with all my heart and with all my soul, and they shall be for a blessing and not for a curse, and they shall be the head and not the tail.
Hallelujah.
God. All right.
And again, we always have to be reminded the reason why we're in this situation, and why our people are going through it, because we are being chastised. And until our people wake up, get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes, it's only going to get a lot worse, right?
That's right.
But they're going to have to really see it, and if persecution is what it takes for our people to wake up, then that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's right.
All right, so again, the destruction of Babylon. We're going to get into the weeds of this. We're going to let the Spirit work. We'll see how the Most High works. We may have to do a part 2, just depending how much we need to cover. But we're not going to rush through any of this. So I want to start off with Revelation chapter 18. So go ahead and turn your Apocryphas. If you got your Sefer, go ahead and turn to Revelation 18. And again, brother, you know how we do, man. If you got something, man, just jump on in. So I want to give the foundation. Many of our people don't understand Babylon. You hear about fleeing Babylon and what have you. You got people out there, you got groups out there that are telling our people to flee and have no idea what they're fleeing to. Because last time I checked, all the Negroes that scattered to the four corners are going through it. And you know what the scripture says, that you're going to be few amongst the Gentiles, wherever you are scattered to. So
Right.
where are you going to flee to that you're going to escape some kind of, if you're trying to escape the heathen's judgment? All right. The scripture says that ye are hated by all nations. So if you think you're going to get up and just go somewhere and then not be hated by your enemies, then you got another thing coming.
You're right.
But you got people who are just very unlearned in the scriptures, and they got people running all kinds of places. All right. So let's start off with verse 1, Revelation chapter 18. And it goes on to say, and after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. All right. So we know that this is a powerful, mighty angel, one of the 7 angels that are coming down and warning his people. Verse 2, and it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, of course, as it says in the Sefer Babel, the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach or spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now I'm going to read this again, because this right here is going to lay the foundation when Brother Aton brings it up in Jeremiah. I'm going to read verse 2 again, because this is crucial. You got to understand the nature of Babylon. All right. This is pretty much where we're kind of getting at. It says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. All right, Israel, and you don't have to answer this question, but I'm just going to throw this out here. After reading this verse, what nations, or like any place on this earth that you will see, where do you see the most wickedness that's going on? I'm not just talking about the U.S., but I'm talking about anywhere where wickedness is being allowed. All the transgenderism, all the homosexuality, lesbianism, you name it, all this stuff that's allowed to be going on in certain nations. All right, let me read on. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All right, we know what fornication is. And the wine is simply that all the false doctrines and delusions that our people are caught up in. It says, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. So kings, leaders, commissioners, whatever, chancellors, people who are ruling this world have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Merchants, who you look at where all who I always say follow the money. Who owns 1% of all the wealth? I mean, who owns like 99% of all the wealth in the world? Right? You see what I'm kind of getting at here? And then verse 4 says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.'" And so this is where people ignore, because it's not telling you to flee Babylon, but it's telling you to not be partakers of her sins. Let me read that again. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.'" So what is the true nature of fleeing Babylon? Like, what do you do in order to avoid all this? Well, you stop celebrating these holidays. Stop accepting their false doctrines, their juice of lies, homosexuality, transgenderism. Stop accepting that stuff. Stop accepting their education system. Everything that they do is corrupt. Everything that they put out, all the poisons that they put out, we are not to be taking part in that. So that's why when we read, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.'" It's not talking about getting up on your feet or flying somewhere thinking that you're going to be safe, because you're still going to be influenced by all these wicked poisons, no matter where you go. "And that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Elohim has remembered her iniquities." Now, before I go on right quick, I want to show you something. I want to pull up an old map, an ancient map of Babylon. All right. So if we want to get the true physical location of Babylon, all right, it's currently where Iraq is now. That's the whole region of Babylon. I'm not too sure how big it was, but we know for sure through historical facts and maps, old maps, that Babylon was in the area where Iraq is, and it's the same area where they tried to build the Tower of Babel under heaven. All right. But what happened? That the Most High confound their language. That's why when you look up Babel, it means confusion. All right. So just so you know, the word Babel itself is confusion, lies, and all kinds of poisons. So we're not talking about one particular specific place when Babylon. Now, a lot of people will say America is Babylon. Some people will say, okay, this place is Babylon. All right. We're going to show you from the scriptures what Babylon really is. All right. Because we know that it's not spiritually, when it's talking about in the scriptures, it's not talking about a pinpoint particular place, because this is where old Babylon would have been in Iraq. So that's why I wanted to pull up the map, just to show you that, we know that all this wickedness and all this stuff is not coming from this area, or it's not coming from the region of Iraq. All right. So wanted to bring that out so that you can just clearly see that this is more deeper than we can even imagine. You have anything you want to bring out?
Well, sort of like what you were saying, right? Where it says in verse 2, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babel, or Babylon the Great."
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look across the earth, the cities, right, that we see that are committing the most wickedness have the mind frame of Babel, which is there's many nations that are comprised together in one particular area, right? One city, one country, right? It's a lot of nations that are combined together, and they all striving for this falsity that they got called equality, right? When you have like many bloodlines pulled together in one particular area and then trying to live together, no one can live in their own particular way of living. Like, for example, like if I go to Iran and everybody there is Iranian, they don't have a problem with saying that the Iranians are the best, right? There's no racial stigma there, right? You're not going to be able to be racist against your own people. But then if I go to a land where I have 50 different nations, we're all living together, we're all trying to get along, I can't go saying that I want to be the best Iranian here in America and do the best work for the Iranians, right? That's going to make me a racist, right? And because of that, there is no structure to the program in any of these nations, right? It's a fly by night, do what you want to do type situation, right? Because there's no history, there's no ancient way of doing things. Like if you go to Iraq or Iran, there's an ancient way of doing things, right? There's an ancient way of obeying and keeping the law, right? So that's how it is in a lot of these ancient cities and these ancient countries, like China, and stuff like that. These old cultures that have nothing but their people there, they have an old way that they do things. So they can't be influenced by outside traditions or civilizations or, or things of that nature. Pretty much they've stayed the same since way far back. But these countries that we see that have a whole bunch of different nations, this is where the most, licentiousness, lewdness, and wickedness takes place on the earth. So those particular countries and areas, those will be considered Babylon, right? Because it does say in the scriptures that they're going to be the other nations are going to be walking by Babylon and being like, wow, man, this joint got burned down to the ground and got destroyed. I don't want to be like them. So there's going to be other nations left. So you got to look towards the nations that have the same mind frame and the mentality as the old school Babylon.
That's right. And let me bring something up just to back up exactly what Brother Aton was saying. So y'all know the prophecy of Daniel chapter 2, right? The image. This is going to be a perfect example. So we know that you had Babylon, of course, for the first kingdom, Persia, Greece, Rome. Now, when it explained in Daniel chapter 2 about the feet, the feet of iron and clay. All right. These are considered the divided nations of Western Europe. All right, feet of iron and clay. And today, this what they would call the European Union. They've been trying to unite and everything. Now, I lived in Europe for a couple of years. I lived in Europe. I traveled throughout all of Europe. And don't get it twisted. Europe is wicked. As a matter of fact, Germany, they have certain laws. It's legal to do certain things to animals. Bestiality is not frowned upon. You would think a place like Germany would never be that wicked, but a lot of that stuff, man, that's where it comes from. And what is America? America is a baby child of Europe, when you really think about it. So, like Brother was saying, the nations that are pushing all of this wickedness, pushing all this same-sex marriages, homosexual, transgenderism. You look at all the places where this is going, and you'll see majority of this in the big majority of the United States and most of Europe.
Bring it out.
So I wanted to really bring that out so you can see how prophecy is fulfilling itself. Because like we're in the toes right now. Like Rome has already pretty much fallen. All right. Now, some people want to say that America is the branch of Rome, which it is. But as far as the government structure as of Rome and Rome itself, it's done. So this lets you know that we are in the toes of the prophecy that was described in Daniel chapter 2. We're close. And we're not predicting no dates or times or anything like that. But we know that, the 100 years can be, that's nothing to the Most High. And so, we have to see what's really happening. And this is why I love studying prophecy. I love seeing things happen right before our very eyes, because it lets us know that the time that we're living in, and no one can argue and say that, oh, this place is getting better, or it's no one can say that it's not getting more wicked, because we already know it's getting more wicked by the day. Seems like by the hour now.
God. Telling you, man.
Yep, what you got out.
Well, also, right, as you see, as we were describing how Babylon is and how you can notice the countries that will be associated with the mystery Babylon, right? We'll go to Revelation 17 later, and we'll also show you that, the rest of the world, they have their own traditions, right? They all stay married, right? They're all, like normally, normally the laws are still kept where you have bride dowries and you marry virgins and y'all stay married for the rest of your life. It's not a bunch of, single parent homes, destruction, lewdness, wickedness, women wearing scantily clad clothes, or any of these things. So those things in the other countries around the earth, right? Those are looked down upon. And then if you go to, and then we'll go down to Revelation 17 when it speaks about mother of harlots, it's little situation that upon other doctrines and the Roman Catholic Church and the spread of wickedness and just the whole dissension of righteous morality, right? You know what I'm saying? Now it's now it's decrepit and wicked
Yep.
on all levels, right? So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. We'll go to Isaiah. No, it's Lockett, Jeremiah chapter 25.
25.
Right.
Bring it out.
Let me get that up real quick. Right. And we're gonna go over because this is pretty much like a history, right, of our people, from now into the future, dealing with Babylon and also the rest of the kings and the princes and the rulers of the earth. Right. So, you're going to be happy to know that. And right, you're going to see the way that the Most High sets things up so that, everybody is held accountable for the destruction that the Lord is going to bring, that you'll see that he's a just and proper God. Right. He's just not going to, destroy you for the hell of it. Right.
You got to earn your work.
Yeah. Con. And then and even if you don't want it, he's going to make you take it anyway. He's going to make you take it anyway. It said, the word came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, the king of Judah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, the which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, from the 13th year of Josiah, the son of Amnon, the king of Judah, even unto this day, that there is 23 year, the word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, and ye have not hearkened. Now remember, the prophets back in the day, you heard that, right? It's just like a job, right? They would get up early in the morning and they're out there teaching on the streets. Hey man, turn back to the Most High God, or he's going to come and destroy you. Turn back to the Most High God, or you're going into slavery. Turn back to the Most High God, so forth and so on, right? And it says, and the Lord has sent unto you all his servants and prophets, rising early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again now every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods to serve them and to worship them, and provoke me to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. All right. Imagine that. It says the works of your hands. If you can control the works of your hands, right, you can control the amount of hurt that the Most High God puts upon you.
That's right.
Right. And it says, yet I have not hearkened to me, saith the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to do you hurt. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land, and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and a perpetual desolations. Perpetual means over and over again, right? So this is why we continuously see wars in that particular region, right up to today, right? We're always fighting, things are always getting blown up, desolations are being perpetual, right, as the scriptures say. It says, moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride and the sound of the millstones and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment. And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years, right? Like I said, now we're going through, some of our history here. Right. And then we're going to also transform, right, as we're going through the history, we're also going to transpire into the future. And it says, and it shall come to pass that when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity in the land of the Chaldeans, and I will make it perpetual desolations. And I will bring upon the land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations, right? Remember now, he said he prophesied against all the nations. Now we're starting to work ourselves into the future. It says, for many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. Serve themselves of who? Right? It's talking about Israel, right? Because we're going to get divided up and we're going to be sent to all nations, right? So it says, for many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. right? They're going to make work. They're not going to treat us fair. You're never going to get a fair shake. No matter where you go at and where our people are, right? You're never going to get a fair shake. They got the Afro Mexicans, man, but you'll never see about them on the people, and you'll never see them on Telemundo,
That's
right?
right.
They look just like me and you, right? Afro, we're everywhere.
Yep.
But you don't ever hear about us, and we're not going to get a fair shake, right? They're going to serve themselves of us, right? They're gonna make us, work at their jobs, but they're not going to give us, the right amount of pay. You're not going to get the upfront, opportunity. You're gonna have to work for it, so you're gonna have to work a little bit for it. Like the other day, I was seeing something about Monique, and Netflix had offered her a special, right? And the special, comedy special, and the comedy special was $500,000, right? That's how much they was going to pay her, right? Compared to a heathen, right? Another heathen woman, right? And they offered her 11 million, right? But she's not nowhere near as funny as Monique, right? See that kind of discrepancy. They're going to try to serve themselves of us, right? And I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. Right? So wherever we got sent on the earth, right? The Most High God, he has sent a cup of fury for them to drink, right? The Most High's fury, so to speak. So it means that however much harm that they do us, wherever we reside in Babylon, right? No matter what it depends on how much they treat us, right? If they treat us good, then guess what? It's not going to be that bad on them. The worse they treat us, right? The worse the fury is that the Most High God is going to rain down upon them, right? And it says that, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it, and they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then took I the cup at the Lord's hand and made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord has sent me, to wit, Jerusalem and the cities of Judah and the kings thereof and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse, as it is to this day. Right? Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his princes and all his people, and all the mingled people, like mixed races, right? All the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, of the Ashkelon, the Azah, the Ekron, and the remnants of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles of which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Timnai, and Buz, and all that are the utmost corners. You see that now? This is all the places that we're getting spread to. Right? These are all the places that we're getting spread to.
It's interesting, man. Like, throughout the Torah, you see this, and it's super clear. Like, no one can argue the fact that we are we the true Jews. No one can debunk that. When we are scattered to every nation on the corner of the earth, and this right here really proves it to me. Hey, let me know when you're ready for me to read.
Okay, matter of fact, if you want to, you can take over now.
Okay, so just continue with some of the places that our people are spread to. Dedan, now verse 23, Dedan and Tema, Buz, and all that are in the utmost corners. All right, verse 24, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Samaria, and all the kings of Elam. Now remember, Elam is also mentioned in Isaiah 11:11, where our people are scattered to. Elam is somewhere in the middle, in what they call the Middle East today. And all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world, which are upon the face of the earth. And the king of Shishak shall drink after them. I'm going to scroll up a little bit.
Con.
And before I read, it's interesting when you read earlier where like everywhere we scattered, the more they mistreat us, the more they abuse us, try to bring us down, destroy us. It's like the more wrath you see that's pouring down. This is why, like, when you look at across the whole earth, there's like little destructions going on, and it's intensifying. The sun is getting hotter. You see these other places that having record-breaking heat waves every year. All right. And the Most High said that that he was going to do that in Deuteronomy 7:21. He said he would bring down the nations little by little. All right,
God.
verse 27, it says, Therefore thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. What did it say? The God of Israel. Didn't say nothing about the God of the other nations. Drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. And it shall
Hold
be
up for a
it.
second.
Okay,
Hold up
go
for a
ahead.
second, right? Hey, I want y'all to realize what it's saying in verse 27. It says, Therefore shall I say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. Now he's talking to the other nations. He's saying, Drink ye and be drunken and spew and fall. Meaning like get dumbfounded drunk, stupid drunk on killing us, abusing us, doing whatever the world you want to of us. You better do all you can because of the sword that the Lord is going to send against them for doing it.
Yeah. And that's deep, y'all. I mean, that's heavy because look how much they've tried to wipe us out. All right. Now they can't just come out and just because that's not going to happen. They're not going to just come out and try to like wipe us all at one time. They're gonna what they're gonna do is that they're gonna use vaccines here. They're gonna throw many of us in prisons, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna bring drugs into the communities. All this stuff, but they're getting more desperate. And it's like the Most High is saying, "Hey, throw everything you got at my people. Let's see if you can destroy them. But you better, you know what? You better be prepared for the sword I'm getting ready to bring you."
God.
That's deep. All right, verse 28. And it shall be if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. So regardless if they don't want it or not, they're gonna have to get that work.
Hey, the Lord said, you know what? It don't matter if you don't want to. It don't matter. I'm gonna make me a reason to kill your behind, right? Lord said, it don't matter if you don't want to take Israel as a slave or a prisoner. I'm gonna make you take it anyway.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that he did to the king of Egypt, right? It's the same thing he did to the Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh, he purposely made Pharaoh's heart hard so he could destroy them people. Right? That's the exact same thing that he's doing to these heathen. He's purposely doing it so he has a reason to destroy them.
And you know what? Check this out. Pete this. And this is why like Hollywood is coming up with this whole woke thing because they know we're waking up now. So they're trying to say, oh, we trying to make everything black now. Well, the original Israelites were black then and are still black today. No changes, you know what I'm saying? But I could see how it's agitating them and it's, the Most High is hardening their heart to get them to rise up against us even more. This is why the police are rising up against us even more. You see more killings of our people by the police, by store owners, what have you, because I can feel it, man. That this the ignition of the hatred has risen tremendously amongst our enemies, but they have no idea what they're getting ready to get. All right, and it shall be. I read verse 28 again. It says, "And it shall be if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand and to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink." You can be the nicest white boy on the planet. You're gonna suffer because of the sake of your ancestors.
Hey, read make sure you read 29 slow. Now Israel, you got to understand, right? This is the medicine for our people, right? This is the medicine for the understanding of the situation that we're in and then why it's in it, right? We gotta look towards the future, right? We gotta be like how these folks, they plan for like 25 years and to put something in, right? This is the way we have to see the way the Most High sees. If one day to the Most High is equal to 1,000 years, you have to be able to see the long game, right?
That's
You
right.
got to see why we're going through this and see what this is. This is why we must study the scriptures so we can get that understanding and we can live our life without worrying about, without out here worrying about, oh, am I supposed to be treated equal? You're out here crying and marching and doing all this foolishness. When if you knew the scriptures, you wouldn't be trying that at all because you would see that this is already written to happen.
Exactly. This is to be expected. So that when I read verse 29, you're going to see, because we're not going to be altogether left unpunished. This is the part of the chastising that we have to go through. It says, "For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name." All right, now get this part right here.
So
And
who's he
should
talking
ye,
about there, though? Hold on, wait, because we want to make sure they know that who is he talking about? Who is the Lord saying that he bringing the evil upon? The city
which is
that's called
called
upon his.
which is called upon by my name. Who are the only people that's called by his name?
Right, that's us. That's the
Yep,
Israelites.
that's right.
Right, that's the
Mhm.
Israelites. We call Israel. Right.
And it says, "And should ye be utterly unpunished?" With a question mark. It says, "Ye shall not be unpunished." All right, let me stop right there for a minute and just bring this, some more points out. So, as we're going through this, all right, the Most High is punishing us for one because one, we left the commandments of the Most High. All right, this is why when we confess our sins and when we work out our salvation with fear and trembling, we also have to pray for the sins of our forefathers. All right, because this is why we're in this situation. And so when you see our people going through this is supposed to happen. This is the process that our people have to go through. All right. Yeah, you don't like it. It sucks and it's bad because our people are just stiff necked. All right. You look at religion. You can look at all these churches that our people. Why does Christianity have such a profound snare on our people? Because it's all emotionalism.
God.
All right. And our people are really just caught up in that stuff and wonder why they're going through. They listen to these lying pastor pork chops that's constantly keeping our people in captivity. All right.
Right.
I'm gonna start again. Go ahead. You want to bring something out?
Yeah, Khan, because in verse 25, I want you to also realize, right, that you should be happy that the Most High says this. He says, "For lo, I begin to bring evil on the
Mhm.
city which is called by my name," which means that he's beginning to bring evil upon his people, right? Us, our
Mhm.
Israel. And he's talking back to the heathen now. He says, "And should ye be utterly unpunished, ye
Mhm.
shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword for all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts." Meaning that what? If God is going to punish his own people, right?
What
His
makes you think he's not gonna
own
punish you?
right. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? If he's going to punish his own people, how much more you think you heathens are going to get it?
But they're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it 10 times worse, though.
God.
You see, it's not going to be a even for even thing. No, no. It's like one of those things. You kill one of us, you kill one of the Most High's chosen. He's going to kill 1,000,000 to 1. That's the kind of punishment they're going to get.
God.
All right. We have okay. So let me just read that again. Verse 29 says, "For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should be utterly unpunished. Ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon the inhabitants of the earth, and saith the Lord of hosts." Verse 30. "Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, The Lord shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth." So the Most High is setting everything up. He's setting the heathens up for destruction, for major destruction. Just like he hardened Pharaoh's heart on purpose to stir his anger up against his own people. And the Most High took him and destroyed him and all his host. All right, verse 31 says, a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. All right. So we know for a fact that when you read in second Ezra chapter 6 and Isaiah chapter 40, it talks about the other nations as being a drop, a little drop or like spittle. All right. He doesn't care about the other nations. The other nations are nothing to him.
That's right.
All right. So let's get that clear. The only nation that these other nations were meant to serve us, but because of our forefathers' sin, we ended up serving them. And this is why it's just it's backwards. All right. So now that our people are slowly having to come back to the Most High and repent and get back to the laws, commandments, and statutes, he's setting everything up. Everything that is happening right now on this earth is happening because of his people. All right. "A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord hath controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. All right. Anything you want to bring up before I move on?
No,
Matter of fact, if you want to get the other ones,
all right.
start with verse 32.
All right, All right. That's 32 to 38, right? The chapter ends at verse 38. So I'll read the rest of them, I guess. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Right? It says, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. Right? They're going to be fighting against each other. Right? See, there's plenty of scriptures of whole history that we can line up side by side, and we can show the exact same thing from the beginning to the end. Right? Babylon is going to be destroyed. Right? And so the rest of anyone else that had a part in the hand of Israel being disenfranchised at any point in time in history. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even until the other end of the earth.
That's some serious slaying, boy.
Man, you know what I'm saying? God. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Right? So if you're alive in them days, right, you're going to be seeing bodies. Just bodies like a, you know, like it was the end of the zombie apocalypse, and you have nothing but bodies just scrolled all over the ground from one end of the earth to other. All right. The people that are left, right, they're going to have to get in big old dump trucks and they'll have shovels on the front. That's going to have to shovel the dead bodies out of the road for you to get from one place to the other. Right. It's going to be crazy out there. I'm telling you, Israel. Right. As a matter of fact, it says that some parts in the scriptures, right, when the destruction happens, that you're not going to be able to see another man or hear the voice of another man for months.
But you're going to be able to see the crows, though.
It says, how ye shepherds and cry and wallow yourselves in the ashes, ye principal of the flock, for the days of your slaughter and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. Right? Notice the verbiage that it uses. It wants you to fall like a pleasant vessel, right? Let's say, for example, you have something that's valuable and all of a sudden you see it about to fall, right? You know, you get panicky. You're like, oh, you got to hurry up and try to catch it, right? Before it falls. And then when it falls and breaks, it like breaks your heart, right? Because you're like, damn, man, you know, that was my grandma's vase that she done passed down from my grandmama to my great grandfather and so forth and so on. And now it's gone. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and a howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for the Lord has spoiled their flock, their pasture. Imagine that, right? Israel, we're not going to have to do nothing. All you have to do is keep the commandments, and the Lord says that he's going to get vengeance on every single heathen that shorted you, right? It may not be that particular heathen, right? But his father's going to get it. Right, whatever that bloodline is, right? That's that same person. They're gonna get it.
That's right. And to add on to that, that's why we don't have the power to go out. See, we don't have an army. We don't control the political structure. We don't control the financial structure. That's why, like, groups in the past, like, you remember that group called NFAC, something like that. No messing around coalition. You know, stuff like that is bound to fail. Why? Because, you know, every time our people rose up to try to fight, they didn't have the proper resources. All right. I mean, let's just get now. It's not saying that our people are weak. Our people are not weak at all. But when you don't have the proper resources to overcome your oppressors, then you're just spinning your wheels. All right. And this is why Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you name it, all these groups that had people bagging them failed. Why? Because it wasn't our time. You know, the Most High did not give us this kingdom yet. So when it comes time, don't worry. You know, we will have part in it, and the Most High is going to use the men, and it's going to be powerful. So right now, like Brother said, we got to get back to these commandments, laws, and statutes. All right, work out our salvation with fear and trembling, because right now this system has to fall through the power of the Almighty.
God. And verse 37, it says, and the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Lord. All right. For he hath forsaken his covert as the lion. For their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor and because of his fierce anger. Understand what it says right there. You know, when a lion decides to spring, when he jumps out the bushes, out the cover, right? That's what it says. When the lion, you know, he hops out of the bushes and there he is, right? And the fierceness of a lion when it comes down to kill its prey, right? It says because of his fierce anger. Why is the Lord is going to be angry and he's going to be fierce with it? Because of the fierceness of the oppressor, right? Hey, they have shot us and then said that they have done no evil, right? That's what it says in Jeremiah 50, right? As you know, if Brother Dan doesn't have anything to bring out, hey, Brother Dan, you want to go something to bring something out before we go there?
No, go ahead and bring it up, brother.
Con, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Right, I guess we'll start at verse 1 on this one too, right? You know, but this is pretty much talking about the same thing. This is all about, you know, the coming, the end, you know, Babylon and how it needs to be destroyed, you know, and it talks about you know, how it is today and then how it's going to be tomorrow.
I'll get the first 10.
Con.
All right. So let's look at, so we all should be there right now in Jeremiah chapter 50. And we're going to pretty much read the whole chapter.
Wait. Hey, do you want to get Revelation 17 before we go here? Oh no, I guess we'll get Revelation 17 last.
Yeah, because that's gonna actually build on what this is saying.
Con, bring it out.
Yep. All right. So it says the word of the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. All right. We know that Jeremiah was young when he started off. It says, declare ye among the nations and published and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken. All right. Bel is confounded. We know Bel, you know, Bel was all the worship that our people would always fall into, worshiping idols. Mordok is broken. So Mordok. So this is another word for Mordok. Yeah, I know the guy they called Mordok. That was the one where they brought child sacrifice unto. We studied the history of it.
That sounds like something out of Mortal Kombat, man.
Yep. Mordok is broken in pieces.
Mordok the Destroyer. I'm just man, I'm telling you, why people be going for anything, man. All right, con, slocky.
It says her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. All right. And you know what it says in Deuteronomy 7:25 that we are to burn all idols, anything that's abominable against the Most High. We are to burn. That's why you don't need to have no Christmas trees in your homes and these little niglet heads that, you know, our people love to put in their homes.
That's right. Right. Every time you put one of them ornaments on that represents a literal a scrotum. I hate to say it like that, right? But for fertility, to bring back the false god Tammuz, right? Because you're worshiping the sun, right? And they had some false doctrine, you know, talking about that Tammuz is going to be born from the sun, and so that's why you cut down the Christmas tree during that particular time, and then you put the balls on the doggone Christmas tree to symbolize fertility. And you know, it's a bunch of madness, right? It's just a bunch of madness. Go ahead, Oxlakia.
All right. And it says, verse 3 says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none, and we already know that we're talking about the captivity of our people, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. All right, because watch what it says in here. It says, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, and they and their children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their God. They shall ask the way up to Zion with their face their saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. How you want to scroll up there, brother?
Con. Gotcha. Let me see.
Start with verse 6. Yep. My people hath been lost sheep. My people hath been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. All right. They have turned them away on the mountains. And now you look, this is the perfect example of what's going on today right now. So my people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. What is Pastor Porchop always telling our people? Lies. Tell them they don't have to keep the laws.
Right.
They could be homosexuals.
Right.
It's
Man, listen
okay
to
for
the
them to,
analogy there though, too, right?
yeah.
Like the analogy says they have turned them away on the mountains. Right.
Mm.
You know how much struggle and you know how hard it is to climb a mountain? And
Mhm.
then you got somebody up there before you get to the top, which is the kingdom, some wicked some wicked Pastor Pork Chop, you know what I mean? He's trying to tell you that you don't got to keep the commandments. Or you trying
Man,
to
that's
you
crazy.
know what I'm saying? That's just so
Yep.
wicked right
Yep.
there.
I mean,
You
this
almost
is
to the top, and you got somebody that's trying to tell you, nah, man, you can't go no further. You got to go down. All right.
yep. Got to go low. They have gone from mountain to hill. I heard that, from mountain to hill. Because I've hiked mountains, man. I think the tallest mountain I've ever hiked was like almost 10,000 feet.
God.
It ain't no joke, man. You start getting to the top, you start seeing snow, bear tracks, and everything. That's when it's time to start going back down. So they have forgotten their resting place. Man, they have forgotten their resting place. That's crazy, y'all. And this is why our people. That's why the scripture says that our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And what is that lack of knowledge? That is the keeping of the commandments. All right, verse 7. It says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers.
Let's stop right there for a second. Right. Hey, listen. Do you understand, Israel, how powerful that verse is? Right. It says that the heathen feel justified to shoot you down, even though you didn't do nothing, because you're not keeping the commandments. That's what they're intentionally saying. Right. This is why we continuously get on our people about obeying God. The reason, just imagine that, right? The reason why you don't get the loan at the bank is because they know that you don't got fringes on and you ain't keeping the commandments. Right? The reason why they want to mistreat you and do what they want to do to you is because they feel like, oh, he's not obeying God, so we can do whatever the hell we want to them. But it's written in the scriptures that God is happy when he kills the wicked of our people.
That's right.
So why shouldn't the heathen feel a certain way when they're doing this stuff to us when we're not obeying God? Right? It's their natural inclination to feel that way because the Most High put it on their spirit to feel that way. Because, it says, when you go to Romans and it talks about how the Most High, he creates a particular pottery structure, one for him to like and to sit up and to put on the mantle, right? Something for him to really like. And then he might make another piece of clay or pottery just for him to, hurl down and destroy. Right. So, but everything has its purpose, just like the heathens, right? The heathens' purpose is that he's going to destroy them, but their purpose is to do what? Right? Uphold the curses that the Most High God said that was going to happen to his people for not obeying. That's their purpose. It's to try you through the fire. Right? It's like a giant game that you have to be able to see the end. If you always looking for everything to be hurry up right now, you know what I'm saying? You want everything right now, you're not going to get it. Right? Because you're not going to be able to comprehend the long game that the Most High has for us. You got to remember now, our God is a being that sees a day as 1,000 years. That's why Adam died before he lived 1,000 years old.
That's right.
Go ahead, Salakian.
Good point. Verse 8, remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. All right. Remember we talked about we brought it, I was on Brother Aton's channel. He's talking about O ye men of Israel, and how the Most High is raising up to men. All right. To be the goats or to be the heads. All right. And this is what we have to really focus on, the men, because it doesn't matter what the women are doing and not doing. You know, the men are the ones that are going to be held responsible for the leadership. All right, verse 9, it says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her, and from thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain."
Mm.
Verse 10, "And Chaldea shall be a spoil, and all spoil her shall be satisfied. All that spoil her should be satisfied, saith the Lord. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. Because ye are grown fat as the heifer
Heifer.
at grass, the heifer at grass, and below, and I was,
Yes, I know.
and bellow, and bellow and bellow as bubs. Yeah, some of those words I can barely see, but
Bellow is balls. I'll take over.
mhm.
Con. Start verse 12. All right. It says Jeremiah 50, we're gonna start at verse 12. It says the mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be as a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Right? You see that? It says, and everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. I mean, they ain't gonna want no part of that, right? It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Right? All the Western countries, right, including Europe, which would be probably considered as Chaldea, right? The sister of Babylon, right? All of these things will be considered here to be nations that are against the Lord. Everything they teach you is opposite of what the Most High says. Everything, right? Most High tells you that the Sabbath day is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, right? But the Western culture, Babylon, tells you that the Sabbath day is on Sunday, when you can clearly see on your calendar that's the first day of the week, right? They tell you over here, the Babylon philosophy, right? They have you wrapped up in all of these different holidays. Why do you think they call them holidays, right? The holidays in America, but there's really holy days. These people, right? These heathens, right? In this Western culture, and everyone that has adopted the same mentality of the mixing of nations and the mixing of people and the and just a natural inclination to try to put down, right? In the Hebrew, right? In the
If
Hebrew
you notice too,
if you
notice, like, yeah, you know these nations that have that are considered the melting pot, the like America being the biggest one, Europe is a melting is an altogether melting pot. You know what I'm saying? You look around, and these countries that don't have that, like North Korea, they don't have those kind of issues. You're not going to see no homosexuality in North Korea. If you do, they're probably dead already.
That's right.
You know, you're not going to see that in Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is not a melting pot. You have these other countries that are not melting pots. They are for their own people. But these countries where you see all the melting pots, that is where all the wickedness is. Really think about it.
Verse 15, it says, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done unto her. Cut off the soul from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First the king of Assyria hath devoured him, and the last this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath broken his bones. Therefore,
stop right before you go on. Verse 17 says, Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. Man, I mean, this goes on to tell you how, I mean, how profound the Most High's word is. That our people are scattered. It's like, man, we not only are we scattered, but we're catching it everywhere we are. We're catching it left and right. You know, from the heathens, from our own people, from past the pork chop. Man, it's like our people sometimes can't win for losing, and this is why it pays to get back to these laws, commandments, and statutes.
Fine. All right. Now remember, now these scriptures that we're reading is basically a history up into the future, right?
Yep.
So that's the way you got to read the scriptures, right? A lot of the things that we read about, stories, and especially these prophecies, a lot of them encompass the whole history of Israel, like far as now into the future.
That's right.
Right. So then when it talks about it shall happen when things that have not happened yet in the scriptures, those are the ones that are to come. Right. So verse 17 again, it says, Israel is a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria hath devoured him. The last, this Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath broken his bones. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land as I have punished the king of Assyria. Right? You know the Lord is a man of war. Right, man, he likes that get back. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation, and he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied among Mount Ephraim and Gilead.
Okay, stop right there. So again, it's like when you brother Eitan brought out earlier, you know how when you read the scripture, it talks about, you know, the present and the future of our people and how the Most High is going to deliver his people. You'll see this all throughout the Torah, because like when the scriptures were written from tablets and everything like that, they weren't written in chronological order. So you have to really pay attention to the verbiage that's taking place.
Con.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Verse number 20. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. Okay, so here we are now. We're starting to move forward in time. It says, and in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found. For I will pardon them whom I reserve, right? Those that are being saved, right? Those are come before the foundation. Go up against the land of Mithriathim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekod. Waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. A sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction.
All right,
you got something about to say?
Yeah, no. Go back to the last verse you just read, and then I'll read the next 10. All right, a sound of battle is in the land, and of great destruction. You know, we'll have to talk about this probably in another lesson, but you know, every time when the Most High dries up the Euphrates rivers, that's when all hell's getting ready to always break loose. It's just something about the drying up of the Euphrates, and the Euphrates is drying up. So I mean, we're getting ready to see some things. All right. Start with verse 23. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" All right, read that one more time. It says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" You want to say anything to that?
Nah, Con, you can go ahead and bring it out.
Okay. And so this is what we're going to start kind of getting into when it says have become a desolation among the nations. All right. And I'm going to wait till we get to Revelation 17, because it's going to make a little more sense when we bring this out and everything, because you have a better understanding. Okay, you know, the nations that are or support or consist of the Babylon, the wicked nations.
That's right. Those that are drunk upon her cup.
That's right. So
Right.
that's why I wanted to really just kind of bring this out, so you kind of make note of this when we go to Revelation chapter 17. All right, verse 24.
Hold on for a second, right? Now remember when we was in Jeremiah 25 and we had saw that, what cup are they talking about? This is the same cup this is the same cup that Jeremiah had prophesied in verse 20 in chapter 25, right? Is the same cup that is also talking about in Revelation chapter 17, right? Because this is the cup that he's passing by of the fury in order for him to cut down these wicked nations.
That's right.
All right, and they're going to be forced to drink it. For every nation that has taken part in the captivity or in the disenfranchised of a Hebrew Israelite brother or sister, they have been marked, right? They have a mark upon their head, the same as Cain did, right? The Most High, he has them marked for destruction. Go ahead.
That's right. Verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. The Lord hath opened his armory. Y'all hear that? The Lord has opened his armory. For those of you who've like did military thing like that, you know, like the army room and everything, nothing but weapons and all kinds of stuff.
That's right. Rocket launchers, handguns, AK-47s,
Bazooka.
AR-15s,
All that
the
stuff.
RAM,
Bradleys.
all in there. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
PVS-7 night vision goggles. We got the whole thing.
Yep. And have brought forth the weapons of his indignation. And throughout the scriptures, what has the Most High mostly used for destruction? He used the elements of nature, fire and brimstone down on Sodom and Gomorrah, a flood, all kinds of stuff. All right. It says, for this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Verse 26. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouse, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. So we're talking about nothing. I mean, nothing. Like when you burn wood and there's ashes left, man, that's not going to even be left.
That's
crazy. Left. That's right. It says, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. All right. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. So I just want to bring something out. This is like, this particular verse is what a lot of brothers use to try to say, oh, this is the Most High saying that we need to flee America. I mean, that is crazy, y'all. And they don't even understand what this is talking about. They'll just stick with this one verse where it says, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in the Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. Because they'll say like, oh, you got to flee America. You got to get out of America before it's all destroyed.
Let me ask you something, Israel, right there. Right. Do you think that there are going to be any wicked folks that are in Zion declaring the vengeance of the Lord? No, because the Most High is going to kill them. Right?
Exactly.
The wicked is going to get destroyed. Right. So those that are escaped, those are the ones that are saved. Right. Those are the ones that the chariots are coming to get about the situation before things go down. Right. The Most High is going to have a hedge of protection over his people.
That's right.
Not
just like
get caught up and get destroyed for being righteous. Never has that been said in the scriptures. If you wicked, sure, yeah, you're gonna die. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
your resting place is gonna be alongside being dung on the earth with the heathen.
But you leaving, trying to escape America has nothing to do with that verse. All right, we're gonna be protected just like our people were protected in the land of Goshen. All right, not one plague came at their doorstep.
God.
All right, verse 29. It says, "Call together the archers and against Babylon." Now, I don't know if any of you who I used to do archery, man, that stuff is fun. And it takes a level of skill to like really, really hit your target. And those things are no joke. It says, call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it around about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. All right. We know that this is not talking about a little woman, but it's talking about nations, wicked nations that is coming against the Most High's people.
God. Now remember, Israel, he said he's going to raise up the Medes, the kings of the Medes and these things, right? That is the modern day Iranians, right? Those are the folks that have been beefing with all the Western doctrine.
Hey,
Right?
let me start right. Let me start right there, and let me prove that. Let me back that up for you
Con.
right quick because I got something pulled up on that. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
pull that up then. Con.
It's the Medes. It talks about the Medes and talking about the ancient day Iranians.
Con.
Let me share my screen right quick. Because yeah, when you look up history and you study this stuff, and you'll see, hey, this stuff is man, the words of the Most High don't lie.
Con. As a matter of fact, that's in the next chapter over. It's like Jeremiah 51 something, 51:11, I think,
Mm-hmm.
51:10 or 11.
Let me
Right? It
pull this
talks
up here.
about how he raises up the spirit of the Medes for
Mm-hmm.
him to get on them folks. Right. So it's going to be these other nations that pretty much already I say they keep the way of God, but they don't have the full
Mm-hmm.
truth. You know what I'm saying? Like Allah or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
they all know and they keep the same pretty much truth. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not pretty much, they're not wicked. They're not doing overt wicked things,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're not marrying other nations. They're not making a whole bunch of mamzers on the earth. And, that all their homes are together. They're not making children out of wedlock. You know what I'm saying? So forth and so on. As you look at the
Mm-hmm.
nations that are in the Western culture.
Yeah. So I just wanted to bring this up so y'all can kind of just get a snapshot of this. If you look up the ancient Medes, it's going to be the same area where Iran is, or the area, that area, broad area, says where an ancient Iranian people, all right, who spoke the Median language and who inhabited an area known as Media between western and northern Iran. And you can do more, you can look up other sources as well. And so that way you can get like two or three witnesses that show you that definitely the Medes that it talks about in the scriptures is talking about current day Iran. All right, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, let me pull back up these scriptures. Slack Israel. All right, here we
Mhm.
are. Oops. I think it's on you to read though. Actually, I don't think I cut
Yeah.
it in 32.
Okay, give me a second.
Con, you at 27.
Okay, but 20. Okay, it says, "Slay all her bullock, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe to them, for their day is come, and the time of their visitation." All right.
Mm.
So the Most High is preparing. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be sweet, and that's why we can't go around here worrying about what's going to happen to the heathens. Why they get to be exploited over us, and why do they get all the money to finance the good stuff? Don't worry, their day is coming. Said the voice of them that flee and escape. That's where I left off at.
Oh, con.
Escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. 29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it around about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. All right. And all through, especially when you read in Second Esdras, the last two chapters, it really talks and expounds on that. Because this was all about us. All right.
Right.
We should have just we should have buckled down and kept the commandments like we were supposed to. All right, verse 31, I'll read there and then you can take over the other one. It says, Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord God of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. All right. So again, this everything that's happening, the Most High is the ultimate puppet master. He is the one that's pulling the strings. Now remember what it says in Job 9:24. It's Job 9:24 says that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, but it's only for a short time. All right, because again, the Most High is putting the spirit upon our enemies to agitate them against us, to throw everything they got at us.
All right.
Yep.
Con, start at verse 31. It says, Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord God of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. Right? That's a threat. Man, you notice in these Christian churches, they'll never bring out that when it says the Most High God is, hey, I'm coming to see you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall rise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah. Right? So that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Right? Judah is what? It's talking about Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, the children of Judah, and it's talking about Israel, right? And that's the other 10 tribes, right? Remember, Ephraim and Manasseh is a half tribe, so it's not 13, it's really 10. It says, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, right? That's what's going on right now. You got to get a passport, right? You just can't just go back into the land of Israel right now if you wanted to like that, right?
Yep.
They holding us fast there, and they refusing to let you go, right? They had the civil rights movement. Yo, we tried to do things on our own. They came by and napalm bombed the cities, right? You got whole cities of Israelites that were buried underneath water. You know what I'm saying? They digged up man-made lakes and buried whole cities.
Well, look at Black Wall Street. Look what they did to them. They took planes and used oil barrels.
Napalm bombs.
Yeah,
Napalm bombs.
crazy.
All right. Wickedness all the way around, right? They don't want to let us go. Even though we're 13% of the population, we're always on the news, we're always in the public eye, right? They don't want to let us go, right? Verse 34, their Redeemer is strong. That's right, because we got the Most High, right? Their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon, right? A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
That's right.
A sword is upon the liars, that they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed, right? That's a lot of killing going on, right? They're gonna be screaming and acting like little girls, right? You know, so which girls should be feminine and they should be frightened at the sight of danger, right? We don't necessarily have no manly sisters up in here. Matter of fact, it says that
got too many of those right now.
Hey, hey, we don't lose any viewers. Don't do that now. Let me stop kidding, right? All right, it says a drought is upon her waters, and they may be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell there, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man, that's us, Israel, right? Neither shall any son of man dwell therein, right? That place is going to be off limits. That thing, the Most High God is going to be so sick of so sick of Babylon during the 1,000-year reign that thing is going to be a smoldering piece of earth that no man is going to dwell in.
That's right.
Imagine that. You so damn wicked that you done made the Lord mad that he's going to have the spot where y'all lived in, a smoldering, desolate nothing for 1,000 years.
You know, it's Nahum, was it Nahum? I think it's Nahum. Yeah, Nahum 1:9. It says that affliction shall not rise with the second time, and all this has to happen. Why? Because our people, we already look back on our forefathers, and we just like, damn, all the wickedness they've done. And you would think that after all these captivities, you would think that our people would just wake up, they would get it right. You know, so we're gonna look back on this. We're gonna like, ain't nobody gonna be wanting to rebel, and if they do, they gonna get snuffed out real quick. You know, brother, it's gonna be trying to rebel against the Mashiach and the 144,000. You know, all that stuff is done. You know, that's like, come on, y'all. After we don't been through and all this stuff, and you want to act a donkey now? Nah.
Like one man with one spiritual body will be able to just wipe out cities. You know, I mean, like if you watch like the movie, I'm serious. I mean, it's so crazy. You know, if you watch Superman, you know, if you see what you know what I mean, it's gonna be 10 times. He's gonna be 10 times stronger than Superman.
And notice that they use the word Kal El. You know what is the word El used for? It's used for the Mashiach. So
that's right.
Used for all the angels have, the 7 angels have El in their names.
Right. The first flying man they talking about to descend from the heavens was Hamashiach. Where do you think
Yeah.
they're getting these stories and things from? Right. They're getting it from our history, the history of our people.
Mhm.
Right, man. You ain't gonna see nothing till you see one of them 144,000 kings. Right.
Mm.
Every 144,000 Supermans. Imagine that.
Mm.
That at any given time they can change the shape of their bodies. They don't have to eat. They don't have to worry about taking a dump. They don't have to do any of that stuff.
Mm.
Holy, right? With the power that has a direct source, right? A direct ability to call from the source, the Almighty. How you gonna beat that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's impossible to beat. Heathens are going to be in subjection. All heathens on the earth. Every nation that is not Israel. 144,000 mighty, unstoppable kings that are able to get the source of their power from the Almighty Himself. There is not going to be no bucking. There's not going to be any rising up of evil. There's not going to be nothing, because just in the blink of an eye, you could disappear. You know, that man could just think and he could destroy you and then bring you back to life again and kill you again and then bring you back to life with only 2 arms and a half a body. Right? Things of this nature, you know, if you look at how things were in the old days when Hamashiach used to do stuff,
Mm.
man, it's going to be real, right? We already know that Hamashiach himself was an austere man, right? He was strict. He didn't play no games. So
That's
what do you
right.
think that the other men of the Most High God is like? That's why Brother Daniel and myself, we're serious 99% of the time. Because we're trying to be like the Father and the Son was.
That's right.
This is serious business here. All right, go ahead, Ak. It's on you, 41.
All right, let's get it. Y'all see where we're going with this, Israel. So just pay attention. It says, behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Now, we've already seen so much of this. Verse 42, they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will shew mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses. Everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Mm. Man, that it's so much. Like we would be here for hours, literally, if we were to like just try to paint a picture of what this is going to look like. I mean, man, this I mean, words can't even explain, man. This is what this going to look like with the battles, man. That because when the Most High throws down, like the only thing we haven't, put it this way, we have not truly seen the plagues or the judgment of the Almighty, like in our time and beyond. All right, can you imagine being in the land of Goshen and you witnessing all those 10 plagues falling down?
Man,
Like,
they have fire and ice at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Come on,
picture,
man.
like picture in your mind what that would look like the noise from it, the crackling from it, man. Like, I mean, man, it probably scared the living daylights out of Israel, even though they were protected.
And this is coming out of the heavens.
I
So,
know.
like, you're seeing these things that are coming for you that are higher than the sun.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Right? So these plagues are things that are coming down straight from the heaven. That's the firmament. That's the ceiling. You're seeing it descend from straight from the throne of God straight on man.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's going to be hard for you to envision.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see stuff like, man, what is that? Verse 43: the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. All right. I wonder, like, where it says, and his hands waxed feeble. Even that, y'all know what that said, right? Waxed feeble. Man, there's gonna be some scared jokers, boy. They're gonna be shaking so hard I think, Brother Aton, you sent me a video or something like that, man, with some dog where he saw something,
Oh
and
yeah,
the dog was shaking. It looked like the dog was about to shake his skeleton out of his body or something. That's how hard the dog was shaking, like he
yeah.
saw something.
He saw something, but the woman couldn't see something. You know how dogs, they got a different,
Yeah.
the animals have a different way of seeing things. So, however, whatever the
Hmm.
dog was seeing, probably is some kind of spirit or
Hmm.
demon or something.
Yeah. These boys are gonna go through it. Verse 44. You want to scroll up a little bit?
Oh, verse 44.
Yeah, just scroll that to the top.
No, that's the
Oh,
max. That's the max.
that's
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay, got
Yeah,
it, got it.
Con ends at
It says,
46.
behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong. But I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me,
Mm,
and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Mm. A shepherd is someone who protects his flock.
all right.
All right. Verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose, that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. In verse 46. That's crazy, man.
Man, Hamashiach be talking the most crap that I've ever seen. Hey man, that's a big boy talker.
Well,
Especially in 44. He
but
says, he said, who was the chosen man that I may appoint over her?
mhm,
Who was like me? You know what I mean, telling
mhm.
them, boy, hey, ain't none of y'all like me. Ain't none of y'all can be over here but me.
They
Who
tell you
will
he's a man
appoint
of
me the
war.
time? Right. He
That's
said,
right.
man, ain't none of y'all can tell me what time that I need to do something. He says, who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Meaning that, what I'm saying, like, who got enough nuts to stand up against me?
That's right. See, when he came the first time, he came to save. He came to relieve Israel, to save them from their sins. Right? He didn't come to overthrow the Roman Empire. He didn't come to do all that kind of stuff. That's why he said that the kingdom of heaven is within your heart. All right. He was trying to show them and prepare them that many generations are going to come after you that are going to mess up, but out of that they're going to come out, and in the last days, like it says in the book of Jubilees, chapter 1, 14 to 16, they're gonna start to cry out, all right, because they went astray from keeping the commandments. But this time, Mashiach is coming to battle. He's coming back with some glorious armor on him. Now, can you just imagine being able to change your garments at the speed of thought? All of a sudden, your garment just changed. Man, I was like, it's gonna be crazy because he ain't coming for no peace.
I mean, he could talk big like that because he could talk big like that. Like nobody can do nothing to him. That's like the epitome of like, yeah, that's right. I'm the man, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
That's right. He's the God of war. All right, verse 46, last verse in the chapter says, "At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved." Now I'm gonna read that again. It says, "At the noise." What kind of noise that's gonna sound like? I mean, think of I don't know what I'm trying to describe a noise, like the loudest noise other than thunder that someone can ever hear, and you just be frightened. Just think of something that's so noise wracking. You know how you have a pair of headphones on and you hear the bass, but just imagine if that was amplified throughout the atmosphere, and everybody heard it. I mean, it's so strong that it would be busting down buildings and shattering glass and all kinds of stuff. It says, "At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations."
This will be like the second time because remember he akins the destruction of Babylon to that of the Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities that were round about it. Right. So remember we had a couple of angels that came through and they just wreaked havoc on Sodom and Gomorrah and the rest of the cities that that even the angel told the old girl, don't turn around. There was so much commotion and destruction going on that she couldn't help it. She had to disobey. She had to turn around and see what the hell was going on and got destroyed. Straight turned into a pillar of salt for disobedient or disobedient. But still, though, right? That's the amount of destruction that's going to be taking place on Babylon, right? It's going to move the earth. It's going to feel like a giant earthquake. for the nations around about. It's going to, the cry is heard among the nations. Right? Do you know how many thousands of miles are between the nations on earth? So we're going to be able to hear the cry of the destruction of these different nations, of the nation of Babylon, from across the earth. That's going to be ridiculous. That's going to be ridiculous. Go ahead and get Revelation 17. We'll pull that up.
Let's bring it out.
All right. I guess I'll start reading, I guess. It says Revelation 17. And I don't know, I guess this will be the last chapter that we go over, I guess. Well, a few scriptures that we go over before. I don't really have anything else after this, but here we go. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Right, so it means that this particular nations, right, this particular, we know the Western doctrine and including Europe, right, that have come up with the, the Catholic Church, right, and all these other kind of wicked doctrines that we see today, right, and they're trying to pass it around to the other nations, right. It got so bad that the other nations, they had to get on their people over there about, hey man, you're not going to be over here following the West. Matter of fact, China and stuff like that, they had to restructure their algorithm to make sure that they don't get anything that's from over here.
That's right.
If you look at the algorithm for China and Japan and things like that, for their little TikTok thing, it's not the same as the one over here. The one they send America is straight folly all the time, folly and nonsense. When you look over there, it's math, math competitions and shows and family, family traditions and things of that nature. That's the kind of stuff that they're getting over there, right? With a mix of some cartoons or whatever the other stuff there is they have, right? So it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, all right, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup of her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now, I believe that to be, 2 things, literal and spiritual, far as like spreading around the different doctrines that have been perpetrated by the Roman Catholic Church, and also the thing of being, also like literal harlots as well, because all throughout Western society, they don't promote marriage anymore, right? They don't promote one man being with one woman. You look down on if you're a virgin and things of this nature, right? So it's just pretty much, Babylon itself is being a mother of the doctrine of harlots, and create single strong women and all this other nonsense, which we know that breaks down the family structure as we see right now. Nobody has direction over here in these states. It's nothing but madness.
That's right. When you think about Babel, just think about confusion. Hey, I wanted to bring out something. Can you go back up the earlier verse that you read? Scroll back. Yeah. Okay. So the part where verse 3, where it says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a great woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast. Now we know that this is because when the Most High says, when he says women, I saw a woman, this is talking about a nation, or and brother Aitan brought out the fact that the Roman Catholic Church, which I believe too has a lot to do with this as far as their doctrines and pushing, because most of these religions come out of this. And again, everything else comes out of it, pushing of homosexuality, transgenderism, harlotry, all that stuff. Again, it boils down to it's all confusion, because it says right here, full of names and blasphemy. What is blasphemy? Anything that's against the Most High.
Right, Khan. And most likely, blasphemy is mainly saying things that the Most High God did not say. As far as like all nations can be saved, far as that, that he's doing all of this stuff. The promises is meant for other people. The promises are not just for Israel. Just full of blasphemy and seeing things that come as you are, and that you can be this, and that we got a homosexual Bible, and that all of these wicked things that we had that's going on, that's saying things that the Most High God did not say.
That's blasphemy. Right. And then it goes on to say, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Without getting too much further into this, kind of give you a nutshell. So 7 heads, we know this is talking about. There's some other nations involved. And then when it says and 10 horns, what does horns represent? Horns represents a kingdom or a kingship. All right, but again, that's for something else, because you have to. Or I would have to show you a lot of precepts in order to show you, that heads can represent, or horns can represent, crowns or kings. All right, and we know that the European power had those different nations split up. But it's just amazing how prophecy is fulfilling itself in this time. All right, it's just amazing, y'all. Right, Babylon the Great. All right, go ahead, Doc.
All right, and it says, I'll start verse 6, and it says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Hamashiach. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. All right. And the angel said unto me, wherefore did thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and the 10 horns. Right. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall descend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. All right, which is pretty much man. All right.
Yep.
All right, Israel. Brother Dave, you have anything else you want to bring out? If not,
no, I just kind of wanted, if you read down, I just wanted to show you how it just, when the Bible interprets and when it talks about the heads and everything representing. And again, we won't get too far into this, because we'll have to do another whole lesson on this to really break everything down, because you'll have to bring in Daniel, the book of Daniel, because Daniel referenced the same thing. But I'm just going to just read verses 9 and 10. It says, and here is the mind which hath wisdom. Let the 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And I want to start right there. I wanted to bring out. Do you have anything you want to say? Because I wanted to bring out Revelation chapter 14, which kind of goes into that and talks about Babylon being fallen and ties it all together.
No, that's right. I was gonna put the link in the comment section. If you have any like detractors or anything, or any person that's against the Hebrew Israelites, or just the Israelites period, because saying anything that's different, hey, we'll love to answer any questions that you will have. As long as we do it in peace and order.
That's right. Let me get rid of this right quick. Give me a second. We'll bring up Revelation 14. Because that's talking about the 3 angels, and one of those is Babylon has fallen. And it leads up to everything that we were saying, what Jeremiah was saying, Revelation 17, Jeremiah 25, and Jeremiah 50. So it's important to really see these things. All right. So this is Revelation chapter 14. And it says, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting Basora, or the gospel, to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and every kindred and tongue and people. So when it says every nation, it's talking about the 12 tribes, right? It's not talking about the heathen nations. All right, it's talking about the 12 nations, because why does it say into every nation and kindred and tongue and people? Why? Because the 12 tribes are scattered to the 4 corners of the earth. So where our people are scattered to, they speak their language. It's like you have Afro-Mexicans. Well, they speak what is Spanish. You have our people in India, they speak that language. All right, you have our people in Chinese, they speak that language. So that's what this is talking about. All right, saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of water. All right. Verse 8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon or Babel is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. I remember Eitan was bringing that out earlier in Jeremiah, and how the wine represents a lot of the false doctrines and all that kind of stuff that they're bringing out that Babel consists of. I mean, man, it ties it all together, y'all. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim. Remember, we talked about the wine of the wrath of Elohim. What is that? Destruction, pure destruction, which is poured out without mixture. Without mixture. That means you're getting a hard dose of judgment of the Most High into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So this ties in everything to what Babylon, or what Most High is getting ready to do to Babylon. And this is why when we read in Revelation 18, it says, "Be not partakers of her sins." It means that we are not. This is why me and Brother Eitan go so hard in the paint, because we are to depart from all these pagan holidays. We are not to be taking part in their practices, trying to be like the heathens, trying to assimilate their ways. Because what have they been pushing for the longest now? Homosexuality, transgenderism, lesbianism. If you got kids in public schools, what do you call that thing now, Brother Eitan? Is it there's a word for it? Something with gender pronouns.
Oh,
where
gender.
where teachers are, they're trying to encourage young little boys and girls to get them to coerce them into saying that they feel like a boy in a girl's body or vice versa.
Yeah, they're
without the parents' consent.
their identity or whatever. I don't know what that crazy stuff is. Gender identity.
Pronoun. Yeah,
gender identity or some crazy. I don't know what it is, man.
If y'all know what the words is, you can put it in the comment box. But something like that. But it's getting, Babylon is getting crazy, y'all, and it's like you can't even put your kids in public schools anymore. Like, these public schools have been totally taken over by the whole Babylonian system, and like Brother was bringing out, exactly what we've been saying. Look what they're pushing in these public schools.
God.
Man.
Right. That's why the scriptures say that we got to come out of her. Yep. Right. That means that if we can't go by the same doctrines and do the same thing that these heathen are doing, right? We're supposed to be a holy people, and holy means separate. So if it says that the city of Babylon is full of harlots, right, we got to be opposite of that, right? We can't have pookies and ravens, right? We got to stick with our people, right? We have to make smart choices. We need to work as a family unit to get up out of here. Man. Right? We got to do it together, Israel. The men and women together. That's the only way we're gonna get up out of here, right? Men first. Y'all have to be leaders. Y'all got to come back to these scriptures.
That's right. And I can tell you what, if you like, I hear some people say, well, I'm going to go parts of Africa. I'm going to go to South Africa, whatever. You go to South Africa, that's like a baby America. You know that did you know that South Africa has accepted the ways of the West? And y'all can look this up. Yeah, they enforce homosexuality over there, transgenderism, lesbianism. And some of these other countries are bound down to the West.
And don't think they won't be destroyed right along with Babylon.
Yeah. And notice how y'all remember, you may remember, man, but it was I don't know if it was Nigeria. It was one of those African countries where Biden, but he was trying to force them to accept the same-sex marriage. But the president was like, "Oh, nah, hell no, we ain't doing that." I forgot the guy's name. Man, I forgot what country it was. But you could just see how the West is heavily trying to influence even countries that don't even want that stuff. They tried to do the same thing with Afghanistan. They tried to get those women to be liberated. But you know what happened when the Americans left? The women tried to go out in the streets and everything, think they're gonna go protest, man. Them Afghanis, man, they come out there with them AKs, man, and shot up in the air, man. Them women took off like roaches. They be like, look, y'all think y'all better get y'all butts in line, boy. You women know your place, boy. The women learned their place that day. But you can just see how the West is always trying to influence other countries to follow their pernicious and wicked ways.
And see, the men over there, they're not the same, right? They're not the same as your Pookie and Ray Ray that you got over here, right? That's been raised
Right.
up without a father, right? Because they got strong father figures over there that raise up their sons to be, the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the issue that we're having with our community. Even though the Most High God has a hand on His people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that there are the men that we are going to rise up, as it says in what is that? Isaiah 21, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We know that the men are going to rise up, and they're going to be, they're going to be gold. So they're going to be valuable as the golden ophir,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right. Isaiah 4, right? 7 women are going to take hold of one man, saying, "Please marry me." Hey, we got all our stuff, right? We don't need you to do nothing for us, right? It sounds like these independent women. So it's going to happen, Israel, right? So brothers, right? I need you to hold your foot to the plow, right? Get your mind right, get ready for the long game, and keep these commandments. Keep these commandments. Hey, the righteous women and sisters, they will follow. So don't worry about that, right? Those that are supposed
That's
to
right.
fall by the wayside, they're gonna fall by the wayside. There's nothing we can do about it, right? So just keep going straight, right? So just keep going forward, right? And then giving kudos and praises and helps to those righteous sisters that are saying doing what they're supposed to the righteous brothers
All
that are
praises.
doing what they're supposed to,
All
right?
praises.
Those that were those that were solidified since the foundation of the earth, right? Those are the only ones that's going to get it, right? And then we're going to get there. So
That's
don't
right.
worry about what the next man's doing. Don't worry about the wickedness that we got going on. It's going to happen because the Most High God said it would.
That's right, Israel. And again, like we always like to say, work out your salvation with fear and trembling, because that is the ultimate duty of man, is to obey and get back to the commandments of the Most High. That is the whole duty of man, like it says in Ecclesiastes. The whole duty of man. Make haste and keep these commandments, because that's where the power is. That is where the power is. And this is something that me and Brother Aton has been trying to instill in our people. All right. The time of you trying to rise up and slay your enemies, yeah, you can probably get, you can probably do some of before they shoot you with a few bazookas.
That's right.
Their weapons are more powerful. Just like that brother you showed, Brother Aton showed a couple of weeks ago. Their brother was trying to get out like John Wick and trying to shoot the cop and everything, and Joker got lit up.
That's crazy, right?
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're awesome, because it's going to fail, because it's not our time yet.
You got to get your payback by keeping the commandments. Until you can
Exactly.
realize that, you're going to continue to die in vain. You're going
Yep.
to continue to die in vain, right? You
That's
can't
it.
worry about the next man or the next woman about what they're doing in the streets, right? You got to keep the commandments, because your salvation, you don't know when your last day is going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So like Brother Daniel says in Revelation 14:10, work out your own salvation in fear and trembling.
That's right. And it's like that brother NFA, with the NFAC, no messing around coalition. He tried to do it on his own, and now they got him. The brother's in jail doing like so many years. I think 12 something like years, 7 something like that. But just lets you know that when you don't follow the commandments, it's going to be in vain.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, Israel.
All right.
I'm good to go for the day. I hope everyone has a blessed Shabbat. Right? Keep your sons and your daughters tight to the vest. Right? Raise them up, in the laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? I would like to know if I could use the microwave on the Sabbath, or can I eat cold food? I mean, me personally, I would say you can't use the microwave to cook nothing. So you can't turn cut up bacon to fried bacon. I don't know, but if you warm, yeah, right. But if you want to warm something up that's already made or something like that, I don't see if that's the issue, because you're literally got the lights on in your house and
just don't be putting no bacon. Just don't be putting no bacon in there, y'all.
Con, right? Con. But if you want to, use the microwave to warm food up that is already cooked and already prepared, I don't see why that would be a problem, especially if your refrigerator is using a compressor, right? You're using a compressor, it has fire going on, so we have to be sensible, right? We can't be over righteous much.
Yeah, right.
We have to use common sense.
It's just like with the blender. Some people have asked me, "Hey, can I use my blender?" I mean, if you have like bananas and stuff like that that's already prepared already, all you're doing is just processing. So, you know, it's not. You got to look at the picture. When the scripture talks about killing a fire on the Shabbat, that's talking about getting your oven. You got to turn it on, and then you got to cook your food from the bed raw all the way to being done. No, you can't do that.
We're not doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's work. You know what I'm saying? You got
Yeah.
to skin the animal. You got to do all kinds of. No, we're not doing that. You know, so this is the rest day
Mhm.
where you're supposed to chill. Warming something up, that's not bad, Israel. That's
Yeah.
no,
No, it's not. Yep.
if that's the case, if you want to believe that, now I'm not going hard on you or nothing like that. I'm just saying that
Mhm.
if there was a Hebrew that out there that believes they can't use a microwave or you can't use anything like that, right? You got it, dog. Hey, I don't want you to turn on no lights in the house, go down to the breaker box, shut
Exactly.
off everything. Just
Yep.
shut off everything and then sit up there in the dark then, if that's what you
Yep.
believe. Right.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure the Most High God does not make the Shabbat for that. I'm pretty sure if
Mhm.
it's a cold day in the winter, the Most High is not telling you that you can't make a fire to keep your people warm when you're supposed to have a rest day.
Exactly.
Right? We gotta really be using the brain cells here.
Yep. So we agree.
All right, Israel. I
Yeah.
believe that's it for us for today. Thank you for being with us.
All right, Israel. So we're gonna bid you a hearty Shabbat Shalom.
And stay strong, Israel.
Sir.